What is up, good people? You're watching Brudsy Entertainment. I am joined with a lovely new guest. This is probably going to be the most interesting one of the most interesting podcasts I've ever done. First of all, how do I address you? Beast 16?
Yes, please.
What's Beast 16 about? What's that about?
So, in my 20s, I was obsessed with bodybuilders. So, I had a bodybuilder boyfriend
Yeah.
who gave me a present for Christmas, which is he designed this beast, this bodybuilder guy, and it says inside the body beast. So, that's on my body. And the
Okay.
16 is that just came recently. So both my children were born on the 16th. I was born on the 16th.
Wow.
And this guy who was my 16th broke my heart. So,
Wow.
yes.
16? 16? That's too many. 16? What's going on?
I know. Too many.
Is it is it is it
Yes,
is it is
yes.
it, is it time 16 now?
No.
It's not that bad. We won't talk about that.
No, no. It's
What do you think about that at the minute? It's, a lot's being said at the minute nowadays about women's body counts and women above 16 and 20 and 30 and 40. What do you think about that now?
um, I mean, I don't think 16 in 40 years, or well, 20 years is a lot. Um, but I'm definitely being judged about it. But not, it's just a number. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, I wouldn't do 1,000 or 100. I wish if I didn't have this many, but it's just not working out. Then you have to move on.
Yeah. I suppose, like, for me, when I hear about it, like, when I hear about women with really high body counts and stuff, um, the first thing that springs to my mind is, have they done it for themselves or have they allowed a guy just to use them? And that's the most concerning thing. And I feel like in a lot of cases, women have been used. They've not got basically anything from it. It's literally a guy's just jumped on them and and then off, like, and then
Yes.
it's not great for you.
If it was my choice, I would be still with the second guy. But he broke my heart. It's gone.
What happened?
He did come back after 10 years, I think, and he wanted to marry me,
Okay.
but it was just too late. Yes, but so I not had a one night stand.
Okay.
They
So
always
you
come. They always come back for more.
okay. Okay.
But
Um,
no, yes,
one of the things you were speaking about earlier as well is men are fine to jump up and down, like to have they're treating you as a fun girl, but not a relationship girl. Now, people are gonna hear this and think to themselves, the answer's very obvious, but what would you say the reason is that men are just not taking you seriously for a relationship?
that's exactly what I'm trying to figure out because they always want the fun girl. They want the fun girl. Oh, and I'm quite serious. But as soon as they think it's not a joke, which is it is just my personality. They just can't handle my personality because I do not need multiple guys. I do not need to cheat. I don't cheat. I don't move on unless they push me to move on. So I really don't understand guys. You want a girl who you can trust, but I think if a girl is fun and joking, very sexual, they just think that you automatically going to cheat. But that's not true. I want to have fun with you, but just because I make jokes with other people, it doesn't mean I want to sleep with them. So I think, for my opinion and my experience, the guys are insecure. They want the fun girl, they want the highly sexual girl, but still they don't trust you, and ultimately they just can't handle it and they just move on. But that's my experience with
When
my
you say
six.
when you say that you joke around and you make comments and stuff, would you say you're quite outgoing with your sexuality? Like, you make jokes, you talk
I
about
am.
it. You're quite
Yes,
outgoing.
yes.
So give
I
me an
talk about
example.
my.
Give me an example. What would you say to
So
a
I do tell. Obviously, I recently had my surgery, so I do tell. I send pictures to people, friends, it doesn't mean I want to sleep with them. I just want to show them this is what happened to me. And also in my day to day life, I meet a lot of guys. I'm quite friendly, and they think that I'm flirting,
Why do you
but I
why do
don't
you
really.
why do you meet a lot of guys day to day?
I travel around, so I go to different supermarkets, I go to different places, so I do have to speak to managers, staff. So, and like, why take
What's-
life
So so you're
seriously?
so you so you're hooking up. You're hooking up is what you're telling me with people when you go out shopping and stuff like that.
No, no. They think I want to hook up with them, but actually, I'm just friendly. I just want to make everybody's day-to-day life like fun. Like, you don't have
Yeah,
to be serious all the time.
yeah.
Just enjoy.
And if you were a guy, you would just be called a Jack the Lad, and it'd be fine. It's very natural for guys to be accepted as just flirty, and it's normally just accepted. But when women do it, it's definitely you're definitely judged, and
Yes.
people are gonna look at you when they see you joking around, especially if you're sending pictures of your downstairs apartment to different people. People are gonna think you are a certain type of way. My so I imagine what's happening is guys are seeing you, you're a pretty girl, guys are seeing you and you're being jokey with sexuality and stuff like that. And you don't strike me as the one night stand type of girl. So I think like a guy would have to do a little bit of work to sort of get into your sheets, like, so to speak. But I feel like guys are going to treat you as a challenge, and it's quite sadistic as well. What's happening now? It's almost like a horrible game that some men are playing, where it's just like they see a woman, she's playing hard to get, but flirting. This is how they see it, and what they do is they say, right, she wants to play games. I'll play games. I'll be nice to her, pretend I'm trying to go for a relationship, and then as soon as I get in there, I'm gonna fuck the living daylights out of her, and then fuck her off.
Yes, but funny you say this because I did change my game. So recently, how I started meeting guys that is just for sex, and then it became a situationship because, oh, she's fun, she's easy, okay, that's nice. Um, but then as soon as we're like, oh, so what we doing? Because we like each other, but no one's a relationship, but we are seeing each other every single day. And but because now they're saying, okay, but you started that you just wanted sex. But then when I said,
Wait,
okay, well, you don't want a relationship, but then okay, I'm gonna go and see someone else or go back on Bumble, then they switched again. But oh, but then you just want to cheat. So it's just the whole confusion about what's going on these days.
I
So that's why I
feel
said, so I switched around. Now I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm just looking for, but,
so now
but not with multiple men. I just want to have one guy, just have sex with them. You don't need to marry me. I don't want no children. But because they see that I'm independent, I don't need anyone to take me out. I don't need anyone to buy me anything. I'm fine. I've got my own place. So it's still not good enough.
I feel
So
like I feel like when I hear that, when I hear that, I think guys are just gonna they're gonna trick you, like, and you are, there are certain guys out there that would love the sound of a free hookup, like, a regular hookup, and ultimately, when you do that for too long, especially if it's unprotected, like, there's a transfer of bodily fluids and chemicals that get sent to everyone. Um, that starts to cause emotions in the body, in the brain and the body. You start to build an attachment to that person. So the plan that you have is really flawed. Like, it's just never going to work. All you are going to do is continue to meet. Like, it's the easiest thing in the world for a woman to go on a dating app and find sex. It's the easiest thing.
100%.
It's the easiest thing in the world. So I feel like, on a serious note, you have to say to yourself, do I want to be perceived as easy? Do I want to, like, yes, I enjoy sex. You can enjoy
Mm,
sex, I totally understand that. And it's just one of those things where I think people have to start thinking about, like, just personally for you, because I don't think you want to stay on apps meet a guy for a month, and then meet another guy for a month, and then go off the
It's
apps and meet.
exhausting.
Yeah, and this is what you're gonna do over and over again. I feel like there's a guy out there that would like something like this, but I think it's the way. I don't think you're gonna find him on a dating app. I don't think there's any. I think all you're gonna. I think how old are you now?
I'm going to be 40 next
Okay,
month.
so you're gonna be 40. Like, how much more time do you want to waste in your life doing this?
I don't want to waste no more time.
You know,
So I
and
just want
I'm
to
gonna
have.
exactly. You don't want to waste any more time. So if I was you, and what's very hard sometimes as well is like when you are independent, you can look after yourself. You don't need a man and stuff, but everyone gets lonely. So what's hard
Yeah.
is, especially if you've got all these hookups, close by, around the corner, when you get lonely, if you're not strong enough to say no, I'm not going to do that, then you're going to continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. Like, and I feel like I get it, where people get lonely, they don't want to be by themselves and stuff. But it's better to be. I feel like if you took a break from this whole thing, if you took like a 6 month break to find yourself and just sort of learn to be happy within your own company, or you can meet someone and maybe no sex. Why don't you find a good friend? Like, that would probably be a good idea. You could go on dates. You could say, look, I'm not interested in that. I want to go. I'm looking for, like, experiences. I want to go on a, like, companionship. Like, I want to go on a date. We can have a nice meal, but I'm not looking for sex. And you have to be strong enough to say, right, I don't want. I'm not gonna spoil it. And I feel like anyone that sticks around 3, 4, 5, 6 dates, they may be a suitable person for a proper companion for you. But most men, there's some sick men out there that will just play the long game just to get into your sheets and then tell you to go away
Yeah,
afterwards. So, but
exactly.
it's a
I
difficult
mean,
one.
that's exactly what I've just done my surgery. So
Okay,
I
let's
know
go.
I
Let's
can't have.
go. Let's. I've given. I'll come off the daddy vibes now.
Yeah.
Trying to latch you. Let's move on to it. Why on earth did you get a designer vagina? Like, how much did you pay for it first of all?
uh, Nearly 4 grand.
4 grand.
Yeah. So
Jesus. Okay. So what made you want to get a designer vagina?
I I never liked it. I think as a teenager, the first porn I watched, the girl had perfect vagina to me. I thought that's the perfect vagina. And I was like, mine doesn't look like that. So there's something wrong with me. But then also I had relationships and I never had a complaint about how my vagina looks. But I don't really see vaginas. I've not even seen my best friend's vagina. So I don't know. Obviously I watch porn. And in porn, they most look really neat and tidy. So obviously I had 2 children and I was quite badly cut because the children got stuck. But it still healed. You could use it. It's perfectly fine. It was perfectly fine to use it. But I just didn't like the look. It was just not neat. And I mean, I don't really talk about this, but on porn, you don't really see a lot of flaps going around. And I obviously had flaps. And not just that, like even the color bothered me. So I was like,
You must have been watching a hell of a lot of porn.
yes. And I'm searching, and I still don't see anyone who's got quite different vagina. They're all
I,
very
f-
similar.
I feel like this is why, like, obviously, porn sites, they're very popular. People go to them every day. But I feel like, this is why OnlyFans has sort of come into sort of place now, where men are looking for something totally different. Like, men are looking for plain Janes. They want hairy bushes. They want saggy boobs. They want natural looking women, like, and that's why this OnlyFans has kicked off the way it has. But I feel like it's a beauty standard. I feel like you've been watching stuff for too
Yeah,
long, and it's made you feel that you're not good enough. Like, and
exactly, 100%.
and like when you look on when I like me just reflecting on what I've just said. like I feel like you understood exactly what I said when I said it, like beauty standards and stuff. Like, it's TV. It's like, it's not real. Like, the mainstream porn, they do get like, it's all fake. Like, like everything is
Yeah,
fake. The acting's fake. Everything is fake. And I feel like it's a really bad, like, for a woman that's in her 30s, late 30s, just to decide that she's not good enough downstairs to, that I feel that's really sad.
it is. It is 100%. I probably wouldn't promote, but for me to feel better about myself, I had to do
I,
it
I
because if
mean,
I didn't do it,
yeah.
it would bother me until I die. It would bother me. Why didn't do it? Why didn't do it? Maybe my life would have been better. Maybe this guy would have liked me better if my vagina was different. But
Please, 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 please stop sounding like an 18-year-old girl. Will he like me if I do this? Honestly, please stop it. I wish I could give you I need a slapping emoji on this, a slapping sound on
actually,
there.
when I was doing my surgery, it was actually really fun. But the third nurse, poor lady, at the end she told me like, I think you need to go and see a therapist. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I think I'm gonna be fine. Um, I don't know. Also, because I had someone before my surgery, someone offered to eat
Yeah.
my flaps.
Ooh, good God.
Um, yes, I mean obviously it's not legal, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Not legal to eat human, but there are some
Wow. Wow.
sick guys out there.
There are some very interesting individuals out there that would do a lot of
Mm,
interesting things. To be
mm.
fair.
But I just find it I find it fun. I would
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
I don't find it. I mean, if it was legal, I would be like, oh, it's fun and jokes, and why not?
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like you already have the answers in some way, like in terms of like beauty standards, all this. What would make you happy right now? So if I was to give you a magic pen and a magic book, and you could write a fairy tale ending for yourself, what would be in there to make yourself happy? Like the next 5 years.
I just really want to be around people who don't judge me, who got the similar mindset, and yeah, that's all I'm asking. I just want to be around, but I just cannot find even friends who understand me and got the same mindset, and they would actually like me for how I talk and how I see things. But I really
I
don't.
feel like when women are when women are quite outgoing with their sexuality pictures, men and all sorts of other stuff, like I feel like women your own age will be threatened by you, and they probably won't want you around their husband either, as well. Like that's a real realistic thing. Like women won't want you around their husband. There's a couple of sneaky grins there, so yeah, I won't even go into that, but yeah.
No, do you know, I'm so picky with guys. So I have no friends that are like their husbands. Sorry, no, sorry, friends. No, I mean, no offense,
Yeah,
but
I don't think
no,
that's gonna
I
make.
would not.
I don't think that will make any difference to women upstairs. All they'll see it as their their husband sees them, moping around the house all the time, like and then there's you flaunting yourself around, and you know,
Mm.
expose being openly, because most women aren't openly like sexual. They're not really. Most women suppress most of those desires, sort of thing. So, but nowadays there are certain type of women that
And
just like
do you know what? I want to help these. I think relationships do fail because women not
yeah,
open. Um,
a thousand percent. Like if you listen to most, I can't remember what poll it was, but there was a recent poll, and it said that the main reason for relationships breaking up is the women not being openly sexual enough and not expressing themselves enough, like in the bedroom. And that's just a good point what you brought up there.
And do you know also what I realized that women don't know their body. I did not know my body in my 20s. I did not know how to satisfy myself, or I
That's
didn't know how a guy could satisfy me. I played around a lot, even just now after my surgery. Even I I had a conversation with the surgeon about where the clit is, because he said he's going to cut my clit, and I said, oh my god, I'm not going to have a sensation in there. And he said, no, actually you get the sensation from the muscle which is close to the bone. So funnily enough, I could make myself come without
Oh,
touching the
yeah.
area.
I feel
So
like that. I feel like,
because women don't know themselves.
that's so true, and it's really sad to the point where women have to learn about it when they're in their 20s and 30s, and by then they've already had like five or six in, like, what they call sex. Like, they don't even know what sex is really, because
Yeah.
their version of sex is just meeting a guy and a guy jumping on them, coming in them, and then that's it. Like, and
Oh,
they don't get anything from it. So it's very important to. I feel like in England we're a bit well, what's the word? We're a bit prudes. I would say that we're a bit prudish, basically, where we don't like to talk about certain bits like that.
yeah.
But it's very true. Like, before a woman should starts any sort of sexual relationship, she's got to know her own body. Like, if you don't know your
Yes.
own
I
body,
mean,
how can you? What's the point? You're just basically a
yes.
punch bag.
I wish if I knew. I wish if I actually someone told me to try different things.
Okay.
But
Okay. We might have stumbled onto a niche for your new career over there.
I mean,
I,
yes, it's
yeah.
quite interesting what I just did after my surgery. I'm so proud of myself, but
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe
No.
I
No.
should teach
Yeah.
women how to do things, what to do.
Quite possibly. Quite
Mm.
possibly.
I not had a clit organs until in my late 30s.
The way you just talk about stuff, and then, like, just like you're talking about, like, the way you're talking about stuff, and it's like you're talking about freaking shopping or groceries, or, like, you're excited, like you bought this new
I
DVD sort of
know.
thing. That I feel. Yeah. I mean, it's all power to you. You deserve to sort of feel how you want to feel. But is there a serious side to it, where maybe, like, you think, like, yes, I'm having all this fun, and having, like, I've got all these options with men and stuff like that, um but where you sort of lose yourself a little bit to your desires, because, like, everyone has desires, and we could there's an argument to say, like, if everyone just lived their desires and said, oh, fuck it, I've had this fantasy in my head for years and I want to start achieving it and doing it, like, where would the world be?
Yes, no, I mean, I can separate my work life, my family life from the fantasy.
Yeah.
I would like to do that. Um, but then also, like, maybe if my work find out, I would be judged, and it would be quite uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
think
and
not for
that's
me, but
yeah,
for
yeah,
other people.
that's another thing as well, because obviously, you know, that's something definitely to consider when you start if you start sort of, like, the career that we were talking about. If you've got a job, some women lose their jobs if they start doing that, because they just, so that's definitely something that you need to
Yes, I think
consider.
my job, I work on my own, so I don't see why
Yeah.
would I lose my job
Are
over
you, are
it.
you, are
But
you, are you an are you an IT person? You look like an IT girl.
no, really, no, I'm really bad with
Oh,
IT
really?
and technology. No, so I do merchandising, so
Oh. So
I
you
go
so
and
you
do
so like
the
marketing
jobs.
marketing and stuff, like, or
Yes, yes.
cool. You can do some bits for me, pro bono.
I
um,
try.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Let's get let's fire some fun questions at you.
Oh,
Your favorite childhood memory,
mm,
is that a tradition?
going on holiday and eating fresh figs in Croatia,
Wow, wow, wow. Favorite place you've lived?
London.
Why London?
Oh, it's just fun. It's just everything there. You can find anything. It's fast paced. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I suppose it's quite
I've
difficult.
met the best people in there.
Yeah, Kent is not too. Yeah, where you live is not too. It's too bad, but it is quite out the way, isn't it? A little bit. Just
Yeah, I don't feel kind of accepted here, but
it's a bit
I
country.
felt more home in London. In London, no one judged me. No one asked me where my accent was from, or what you're
Yeah,
doing here.
especially if you're in a village, you're probably in a villagey area as well, aren't you? So yeah,
Yes.
they can
Yeah.
be a bit, you know, that's probably like the land of reform and UKIP and those sort of parties out there. Unfortunately,
Yes.
you know, that's where they go.
But it's quiet. It's okay.
Cool, cool, cool. And what would you want to? What would you want to be your? What would you want to gift to the world? If you could gift anything to the world, what would you gift it?
Happiness.
Cool, fabulous. Beastie 16. It was short. It was
Mm.
sweet. It was tidy. It was flapless. Um, great chatting
Oh,
with you. Great
I
chat
miss
with
my
you.
flaps.
First, you
If anyone wants to eat them,
you got them in a
let
jar.
me.
You got them in a jar somewhere still, have you? Okie dokie. Okie dokie. We won't talk about it. Guys, this was Beastie16. Make sure you go check her out on all her socials. And Beastie16, it was lovely chatting with you. Let me